Hello and welcome to Polymath Counselling with Luke. Please comment and share, like and subscribe, and that can encourage some more ideas and exploration and lifelong learning. In a polymath way, this video combines counselling with physics and symbols to explain the dynamics and a spectrum of loss. I often use Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of loss when I'm counselling, but this is my own model and it makes sense to me. There are some links in this video to another Polymath Counselling video which is based on art and loss, and within that I depict a Rubik's Cube. So I'll try and put a link at the end of the video to that video if you're interested. At the end of this video I'll give you 2 options of my art video and also a popular music video, which I think also links to loss and physics and symbols too. So here is my spectrum of loss. It's an umbrella model. I've mentioned before that I can often put many or almost every presenting issue under the umbrella of loss. Irvin Yalom suggests in his book Staring at the Sun that many or all of life's anxieties could be linked to death anxiety. However, in my model, I feel as though all issues, or almost all issues, could be about loss. So, when we begin at the base of the handle of this umbrella, it does link with Kubler-Ross's first stage of denial. Many times when we first experience loss, we can be pointed in the opposite direction of the loss, and we might be in denial. We are trying to avoid the full breadth and depth and enormity of the loss. As soon as we change our perspective and look upwards towards the loss, we begin that sometimes long journey towards acceptance that the loss has actually happened. Some losses might feel unacceptable, so we might have to stop on the way, because time and pace are important in loss. By that I mean that it's important and helpful if we're given time and space to go at our own pace, and that can sometimes mean a swift or a slow pace. Okay, so the model suggests that similar to an impermeable umbrella which deflects rainwater or perhaps tears in loss, there can be too much reflection on the left hand side, perhaps too much awareness, too much clarity, a blinding light of loss. We are reflecting too much, and it's very similar to a substance in physics called starlight. Starlight was invented by a British hairdresser and amateur chemist called Maurice Ward. And starlight, the substance, can withstand the heat of a laser at 10,000 degrees. It's that reflective. But here the reflection in loss is about the awareness as well, and it can be exhausting. It's on the end of this spectrum. It can be damaging, or it can be harmful when we're reflecting way too much. We're reflecting everything. We do feel impermeable. Nothing sinks in. We might be experiencing a loss in high definition, blinded by the light. Now, maybe because I'm British, I've chosen the umbrella because I've lived on this island for a long time. So I'm used to talking about the weather too. So that's why we have this scale here above the umbrella linked to the weather. Anyway, let's have a look on the right hand side. The model suggests that similar to a permeable and a porous umbrella, it actually absorbs rainwater and absorbs those tears. There can be too much absorption and perhaps too much meaning attached to a loss. Therefore, it can be a heavy weight and a heavy force impacting on us, similar to logotherapies, Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl's book was called Man's Search for Meaning. That's also a really interesting book, I think. That's why I think loss can actually be a difficulty on this side of the spectrum. When we have this meaning, it can actually weigh us down on this polarized scale, and it can absorb our energy. The loss can absorb our light, similar to the substance in physics called Vantablack. Vantablack was also invented in Britain by Surrey Nanosystems, and it's famous for absorbing up to 99.965% of visible light, which for me, in this model, relates to the difficulty in loss when we are figuratively and literally almost completely absorbed by the lost in the dark. Therefore, in the grand spectrum of things, and McCarry's spectrum of loss 2022, it's not suggesting that we aim for either of these polar opposites, because both sides can be impressive and they can leave an impression and a significant impact on us. But this spectrum of loss suggests that there can simply be different aspects, different dynamics, different symbols, some polar opposites, and there's different physics when exploring loss. We might change direction as often as the weather changes in the day in Britain, which is a lot. Okay, so I hope that's left an impression on you with relating counselling to physics and symbols to explain the dynamics and the spectrum of loss. I've mentioned starlight, super reflective, and Vantablack, super absorbent, to reflect the extremes that a loss can physically feel like. So thank you to Maurice Ward for starlight and Ben Jensen for Vantablack. So once again, I'd like to suggest that you might want to comment and share this video, like and subscribe. Take care from Polymath Counselling.